I never thought I said this, but thank God for doom scrolling. Because if it wasn't for one of those sleepless nights, I would have never found John Stitch. He's been experimenting with color and making some amazing portraits. But how do you paint like this? Because this is not skin color, but it still makes sense. Well, I went through a spiral this week trying to figure out how John works and how other realistic painters work, and let me tell you, I wasn't prepared for the answer to be this thing. I know, it sounds a little weird, but hear me out. So John Stitch paints with acrylics, and I don't really like mixing colors, I never did. But thankfully, Artex sent me this box with 90 markers. And I'm sorry if you clicked on this video expecting some chill piano and ASMR, but I learned a lot and I want to show you exactly what I learned. So at first I thought that it was just some random colors, but that's not it. There's a difference between using random colors and this, which feels like this person's face has volume and light. So how is he choosing the colors? Well, it turns out that he is not. He is choosing value. If we turn every video I've shown you black and white, his value choice is perfect. And this can be tricky because vibrance and saturation can trick you into believing that a color is lighter or darker than it truly is. Red being the trickiest one because even though it doesn't look like it, in a value scale, red is a very dark gray. So how can we get over that hurdle? Well, first we need to pick a subject. Here's mine. It's me. I'm not really into self-portraits, but I didn't want to pick some rando from the web or expose a loved one. And now, I turn it black and white. And now here is where my advantage appears. This is the whole swatch of Artex markers that they sent me. I can also snap, turn them black and white, and now I can have a value match. I wanted to make this easy for me, so I used this Proco tool to posterize my face into values that I can count, like 7. I don't know what comes after 7. Okay, cool, so now that I have the values and the markers that I'm going to use, how do I start painting? Well, I made a grayscale of the values that I had in the photo, and I matched them with the markers. And now here's the funny part. Remember how I told you at the beginning of the video that painting by numbers was the secret for realistic paintings? It is. So before painting, I had to draw the portrait, which if you want, you can learn how to do it in this video that is somewhere around right here. And then I had to search and choose for shapes so I could just simply paint by numbers. I know it sounds lazy or cheating, but it is neither. In fact, I can show you examples of lots of artists and their processes, and what they do is just paint by numbers. Of course, that they use a lot more colors and a lot more details, and they also blend a lot. But if you see the drawing, you can tell that that's exactly what they're doing. If you're somehow more interested in portrait techniques, down in the description, there's a link for a free month of Skillshare, so you can choose the course from there and start getting better at your portraits. So, I tried to paint by numbers, and it looks so bad. So clearly what I was doing wasn't enough. I mean, sure, you understand there's a face there, and values are good, but what more can I do? So I reshuffled the marker chart. Instead of one color per value, I chose several that got close to it. I tried again, and this is what I learned. It still looks bad, a little bit better, but still not good enough. At least in this one, I learned that a more unified palette can help you to improve the painting. I can be random about it, but if you look at this red here, technically the value is correct, but it still looks like crap. So let's just leave the vibrant colors out of this. Maybe we can use them for some highlights later. I don't fear showing you my bad paintings and my mistakes. This is just part of learning. And if you want to show me your bad drawings and your mistakes so we can learn and get better together, go in the description and join my Discord. I'm there all day, so you can show me your drawings and I'll give you some feedback. So now, I get to reshuffle again. Yay! So I took the chart on the Artex website and reordered every single color in a grayscale value. It took so long. And I reordered the markers in the box to make it look like the new chart, and it looks like this. And then my daughter came back from daycare and saw the markers, and It was garbage. But I managed to rearrange it. It was just, the meditation I needed. So with the markers rearranged, it doesn't feel like one-to-one to the chart. But, to be honest, it was close enough. Vibrancy is still an issue, and I can see some colors popping out that I don't think that match the value chart. But I can just ignore those for the exercise. But now, instead of being just as random, I'm going to be more deliberate on the palette that I'm going to use. But I need to do one final thing before I could nail this, that is coming up. But first, I have to admit that all of this previous work that I did digitally before I even opened one of these markers came from a place of terror. I draw in digital because when it is all zeros and ones, I'm not afraid to screw up. But the moment there's a piece of paper in front of me, I just panic. Especially when I have to draw for a video that maybe hundreds of thousands of people will watch. Or maybe not. Thankfully, I pretty much forgot about the camera the moment I started painting because I remembered the reason why I stopped painting traditionally. Acrylics lie. I mean, look at this. I had a number for each value column, and when the acrylics dried, they still failed me. Which then meant that the chart lied, and the markers lied, and the acrylic colors were slightly different than what everything else was telling me. Which meant that what I had to do was swatch it. The final thing I needed. I painted a little bit of each color in a white page, and now I truly knew their value. So now I drew some quick self-portraits, and I started with this one because it looks pretty awful, so if I was going to ruin one of them, it was going to be this one. So now that I had my swatches, I tried another palette. One color for shadows, one color for light. I also felt more confident because the nice thing of acrylic is that you can paint over. Yes! If you like one color that you're using, just poof, gone. You can just paint it over. And of course, I was happier with this result here. I mean, no way. The more I paint, the better I get. Who knew? But I still didn't like that weird transition from the pinks to the blue colors. I think that I really failed at that one. And something similar happened on my last attempt, where instead of choosing a palette for lights and shadows, I did it for each part of the drawing. One for the face, one for the hair, one for the clothes. And I like it. I mean, it's kind of low on contrast, especially the skin, which maybe brings me to my final discovery about these markers, or any marker set for that matter, and that is that 90 colors may not be enough. I know, I sound insane, but I'm a digital artist. I have all of the colors to my disposal. And so does Jon Stitch for that matter. And I have seen videos where there are ways to blend the markers, maybe just I'm being too precious with them and I should experiment. But maybe I'm missing a piece, but I am getting better. And I'm sorry if you watched this video expecting me to say, oh, I'm super happy with my drawing and all of my colors, but you're in the wrong channel. This is the finding ways to get better at drawing, and sometimes I'm not happy with my skills channel, because I'm human, and this is a human channel. And if you like honest art videos, then well, this is your channel. But, looking back at these two drawings, I'm still undecided about which one I like better. But I know this. I want to keep trying. I already felt better the more I got comfortable with the markers, and I can't wait to see what I learn next from using them. But as you saw in my drawings, I wasn't aiming for lightness. I was looking for shapes in my face. And if you want to know how finding shapes can change and completely change the way that you draw, I suggest that you watch this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sure that you're going to love this one a lot more.